welcome to the OKD Community Development Meeting for April 4th of the year 2023. And we're going to get started with our agenda, which is now focused on looking at the cards that we have and seeing what needs to be attended to. So let's look at the planning board cards and go ahead and get started. Let's look at what's in progress here. So in progress, we have great documentation for single node installation, non-assisted installer. Luigi, that's you. I don't know if you've had a chance to.
Yes, absolutely. So I mean, I have. I mean, I've actually had someone else look at it, and they did an install, and there were some lots of questions because it actually is fairly involved, but they managed to get something going. So I mean, I think in this point in time, it's ready for review and maybe having some eyes on it and people trying it out, testing it and commenting on the document. So would it be okay to move it in review, or and then and just have the links shared with everyone?
Yeah, if you can put the link in the card, that would be great if it's not already.
Okay, I'll do that. And then just move the card to in review.
So Luigi, where is that going to get published? Are you going to leave it as a Google Doc?
No. I think I was thinking of leaving it as a Google Doc now until the review is over, and then just taking whatever it is and adding it as a README and putting it on in the OKD blog or something like that. I'm not sure. What would be the best?
I mean, there are two places it could go. It could either go into the official documentation, because we don't have anything in the documentation for single node install for OKD. We removed this section because the OCP docs send you to the assisted installer website, the redhat.com hosted assisted installer. Or the other thing is we could put it in okd.io. So my second comment was, it does mix OCP and OKD within the doc.
Yes, yes, it does. I can take all that out and add in and remove all the OCP specifics. Yeah,
because I was going to say, I think there is some confusion when you have like the two parallel. It's sort of, for those that know, it's not an issue, but if you're following it and you're not familiar with OKD, it might be a little bit more confusing. So they were my two thoughts on it.
Yeah. Now, the only reason why I did it was initially it was my internal guide so that I could do OKD or OCP builds locally on a single node at any time. So that's why I included both. But I will take out all the specifics for OCP, make it OKD, and then so let's leave it in progress, because I'll move it over to maybe.
All right, I'll move it because I put it in review, but I'll put it back. Okay, so it's back in progress.
Yeah, because just so that I can put it into a format for the either OKD blog or as Brian mentioned in the documentation, or I don't know, Brian. I mean, you tell me. The only reason why I've left it like in a Google Doc for reviews, because I just want to lift what is there, put it in official documentation, and if people come back and say, "Oh, this is a pile of SH," you know, nothing works.
I mean,
Can we go through? Oh, sorry, Brian. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I was going to say, we do need something in the official docs, because I think that's what people go look for first, how to install. So I think, to me, that would be a place where it would be good to be.
Does it make sense to be in the site for a while to get more immediate feedback? set a period of time, like a month or 2 months or something, and then put it into product docs after? Just because it's easier for us to change. You
It's
know, if
easiest
people
for
come to us and go,
changing
this doesn't
to,
make sense to me, or this was what, we can do faster changes. Then we can say, okay, let's sign off on it again for product
Okay.
documentation. Does that make
Cool.
sense? Does that work?
Yep.
Okay.
and do you need any help putting it on OKD.io, or are you okay with MKDocs?
Yeah, no, I think do you have a sort of maybe a quick intro, a little guide on how to get it up and running in?
Yeah, I mean, I have put a section in on contributing to the documentation within OKD.io. So if you go into looking at the contribution section, there is a section there on how it all works.
Okay.
Basically, you just fork the repo. You add a page to the index.
Did Brian just break up there?
Yeah, he's frozen.
Yeah.
Brian, you're frozen if you can hear us. Okay, so I'll put the link to the page that he's talking about, actually.
Okay,
Here.
cool. Will you put it in the ticket and then I'll take that up?
Oh yeah, I can put it in the ticket. So that's, yeah. Yeah, so edit and details. All right, I'm bending
Cool.
myself to try to type with 2 hands here. Okay, details for editing website. There we go. Ouch. Okay. All right, so that's in there. And let's see if Brian's gonna come back in. We'll wait a second for him. Okay, so where are we at with assisted? So we talked about non-assisted. What about assisted installer doc?
As far as I'm
Where are we
aware,
at?
we're still waiting for a volunteer.
Okay. All right. And then mark version 3.11 as end of life. And we had, I think the last thing was, Brian, your update, and we haven't heard anything back from Mr. Burke yet.
Yeah, I've not heard anything from Michael.
All right, let's, I'll put as a to-do for myself to reach out to him. Let me put it in the, I won't do a card for it. I'll do just a separate. Oh, I can actually type if I, this is good. I can type a little bit with my other hand if I like angle myself just right in the arm brace. This is good. Okay. Next up is we're ready to investigate tutorials for setting up OKD to determine good options to refer people from OKD.io. And that's ready, I think, to be sort of pruned out as to what the best are. And I think we have to just decide which ones that we want to put forward. And this is going to go hand in hand with moving the guides over. So reviewing the guides. Actually, I'll move to that one next. No movement on that one yet. And what we got else here? Define a getting started page for OKD. OpenShift beginners. So this was Diane's, and Diane hasn't shown up at any meetings lately. So
there was also some comments. Did we actually need that? Because Michael, if you look in the comments, Michael pointed us to some introduction stuff. There's some introduction stuff on the Kubernetes site. So
yeah, there
was a comment. Did we actually need that, or should we just have links out to other places rather repeating it? That said, there was a conversation around, and Dwayne, I think this come back to some things that you encountered, that people don't immediately get OKD in terms of that it's free. It truly is free. It is open. There is no subscription needed. So I think there is some positioning information we need. I think for the technical stuff, we can point to existing content.
Yeah.
But
so does it make sense to have a getting started page that's a stub with links to the rest of these? Because I do agree that the Kubernetes getting started stuff is good, and then the OpenShift Kubernetes overview is good. But does it make sense for us to have a stub just so that we're at least organizing it in a way that might be helpful in terms of order and adding any new things that come up and whatnot? It is another page to curate, but it's still
well, I actually think there's another card. I'm having all sorts of network problems here, so I can't actually bring up GitHub at the minute.
Oh.
I think there's another card where we were going to redo the front page. I think that one should be rolled into the front page, because I think that should be on the front page.
Yeah, we do have ones that's separate for the front page.
Yeah, I think what's on the front page is a lot of sort of fluffy, waffly, hot air type content. It's not that clear. We have a lot of buzzwords, but not a lot of.
Right. Yeah, we've talked about this, right? Okay, so should I close this one in favor of the updating the front page?
Well, I think we want to combine the two. So yeah, we should move the two together. So we want the front page to be more concise,
right. Review and refresh
but
home
more
landing page. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want me to put that in ready right next to the?
Well, what I would do is I would close this, pointing it at that other one, but put a synopsis of this one in the other one to say that we want to link into. So reference the closed issue.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just so we combine the two threads. We need to redo the home page, but it has to contain this discussion as well.
Okay, okay, so we copy link. Okay, and then I will. How do you close these without putting them in done? Is there a way to do that? I mean, I guess we could, well, it's not done though, technically. So let's see here, status ready, interview in progress, backlog new. Oh, there's no status for like won't do or change or anything like that. Shit. All right, I'll figure out the details of how to do that. But yeah, I think what we want to do is we'll close this one as not due or delete it, I think, and link to the to the link, take the link to it and put it in the new one, review and refresh homepage. Now there's also, in regards to the homepage, there's redesign the OKDIO homepage, which we have that as an enhancement as well. So all three of those are sort of tied together in a way.
That one was more about the template
Aesthetic.
rather than the content. Yes, it was
Yeah.
more about the template rather than the content.
Yeah, but that's still, yeah.
The other
we'll
two
have
are about content. This one is about the template, which formats the content, the look and feel rather than the actual content.
And we want help wanted on redesign, right? Because we don't actually have a designer, so we should tag that as help wanted. All right, let me add that to that one. Help wanted. All right, good. Okay. All right, so we'll deal with those. Review guides section. We still need to review the guides sometime in the near future so that we can just prune all that stuff out.
Well, I'm actually going to move them all into blogs. We're going to wipe them all out.
That's right. Yeah.
And move them into blogs.
That's right.
I've got that, but I haven't pushed it yet, so I'll do that this week.
Did we? Let's see. We put create page, remove section. Okay, so we have moved guides to blog posts as a separate item. Can we close review guides then?
I haven't pushed it, so I'll be doing that this week. I'm just checking all the.
No, but we have that review guides section docs. So we actually have two items because I created one 2 weeks ago for the moving guides to blog posts.
Okay.
But there's the separate one that's under ready for reviewing the guides. And well, we don't need to review. I mean, I guess we can change it to reviewing the blog posts, but.
Well, we're not going to change anything. We're just going to put them the date that they were written.
Well, then let's close this one.
Let's close that one.
Change it to done. Yeah.
Close that one.
I'm just going to move it to done, and then I'll find a way to get that. All right, reviewing. All right, move that to done. Actually, I'll move that one from Diane. And okay, the what is OKD section of getting started page, that's actually still part of, I think, that same effort. Defining the document, defining and documenting the community processes using projects in GitLab. We haven't done that yet. Brian, that's you. I mean, we could pilfer from any of the other organizations that have a process for, getting people a step. I did create a volunteers group. So we now do have a group that is a user group that is just for volunteers, and added some people to that who are just volunteers. And then maybe we could have like volunteers, something, and then maintainers. That might be a way to start that.
Yeah, I mean, Almico, I'm just trying to find out where it is, but Almico did put some notes together because he looked at the process of going through a Git change, and he wrote some notes on that, and he did send a link to them, but I can't find them because we should link them into that one.
Yeah. All right. Well, when we find those, we'll update.
Yeah.
Yeah. Latest news section, we still have help wanted on that. That's adding latest news section to the homepage of okd.io. We've got a lot of items related to sort of updating that front face, that initial page. So we still need a volunteer for that.
Yeah, I think that one's linked to the redefinition of the homepage look and feel.
Yeah.
So,
review license and copyright. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say that there are two real threads around that homepage. the content and then the look and feel. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Review license and copyright requirements for community repos. That one's on you, Brian, and I know you've got a lot on your plate. So
yeah, I mean, I was just, what I need to do is just find some time to go and look at what's there, and I think also need some feedback, Luigi, on what's Red Hat's stand on this, because at the end of the day, most of the content is going to come from Red Hat sources with the OCP content. So does it make sense for us to actually keep the license that Red Hat use and just fall in line there? That's where I'm going, but
okay.
I didn't know.
Okay. Sorry, Brian, you were saying?
Yeah, I just didn't know whether there's anything that we should do there, or if we need to get sign off, if we're going to put a separate copyright notice on for the community bits. Do we need to get sort of review from Red Hat Legal or input from them at least?
Okay, leave that with me. I'll ping our OKD PM and just find out if we would need to involve legal there. Okay, so but leave that with me.
okay, should I swap that out then, and instead Luigi put you on this card? Planning, sorry, review license and copyright requirements. Okay, let's do that then.
Yeah, absolutely. Do that.
Okay. Oh, remind me which it's the LMZ or the Luigi?
Yeah, the LMs. Yeah, I should never have actually. I should have gone in with the Red Hat one and left the other one.
So it's LMZ. Okay, got it.
Yeah, LMZ. Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, you're both on it right now, which is probably a good thing.
Cool.
Now we're define a diary/calendar process to update roadmaps, guides, and glossaries. And that was like to basically for us to define a cycle for updating everything, to keep revisiting it. And Mr. Branch and I started that, and we didn't really get a chance to finish it yet. So let's get together in the coming weeks, buddy, and see if we can just hash that out. So basically the idea is we want to say like, okay, annually, let's review such and such docs. Quarterly, let's review such and such, and have like a schedule so that we can, make sure that we're always following a process of updating. Collect use cases for feature toggle. We didn't ever really get a chance to do this. I think the best bet would be, I'll assign that to my, we asked people, we created a discussion item, and some people chimed in, but I think that this might be good as something for the next iteration of the survey. So I'll add myself to this and add this to the next iteration of the survey that I'm working on, because that might be a good way to engage people, to be like, hey, where do you see a feature toggle? What would be good for that? Reach out to volunteers. I don't know how to gauge this as like it's not like a thing that's done, because I've been sort of continuously doing it, sort of promoting us in various areas, but maybe go ahead.
Yeah, I may have some volunteers or some new users coming soon. I'm talking to a professor, and hopefully soon we may all join in on some S&O things to get them into the OKD community. I think their class is actually cybersecurity, so I'm trying to. They may want to pull in from that angle, but we will see soon.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, I'm also a newcomer here, so I would like to volunteer. So you can also count me.
Okay, all right. Okay, so can you put your GitHub username in the chat or in the meeting notes, and then that way we can add you to the GitHub group. that we have. We'll add you to our volunteers section.
Yeah, this is my GitHub username.
Okay, great. Let me. Second here. Okay. All right, and now moving on to the next item, update docs to point to new OKD -project/OKD repo. I think that's done, isn't it? I think we've updated all the docs. Brian, do you know?
Yes, I think we have.
Okay, let's move that one over. Boom, that one's done. All right. So now we're ready to look at our backlog. Of course, I'm working on the Tecton one, and Mr. Link, I haven't seen at the past. Was he at last week's tech meeting?
No, he hasn't been for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, it is finals season, and I know that when finals happen,
Yeah.
things get busy. OKD.io video content. So, do we want to reach out to Diane, or should I take this as the other? We had someone else volunteer video stuff. Who was it? It was.
Yeah, we were also going to do a video on the SNO together with Dwayne, but I think I wanted to get the documentation sorted out first before we continue with the video.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Let's assume that Diane wants to enjoy her retirement. So I will swap myself out on this card. I do a fair amount of video work. So I'll just put myself as the person on this one. Well, I'll add myself. There we go.
Cool.
And if she happens to pop up, then she happens to pop up. Okay. Review survey responses. That Brian, you and I need to get together on. I think I shared the spreadsheet out to you, but I'll get a new one because it's still collecting responses. The old survey is, so I'll get a new spreadsheet up.
Okay.
I'll add that to the to-dos.
Sorry, just while I was dropped, I didn't hear what the outcome of number 28 was, the single node install.
Oh yeah, so what I'll do is I'll take the link that Jamie provided in, updated the ticket, and I'll start working on getting that and pushing up a PR, and then we can eventually add that in. Is that okay, Brian?
Yeah, okay.
Cool.
Great. The community virtual event. Yeah, we were going to have an event to sort of talk about the operator catalog and whatnot, but Luigi is also planning on making a video about the operator pipeline. This is kind of multiple things sort of stuck under the community virtual event. We don't really have an update in terms of the operator catalog stuff to be able to have an event yet.
Yeah.
So let's keep this in backlog, I think, because I think the catalog, I think that having a virtual event is a good idea, but we're kind of heading into a weird spot because we've got conferences coming up the next couple of weeks. So I think scheduling anything in May or June is probably going to be problematic. We might want to shoot for July, August, and so we can talk about that.
Well, what I was thinking is maybe just arrange a time where we actually have a meeting just to discuss the direction, get those interested, rather than actually a full-blown event like we did last time where it was like a full day of activities. Let's just say, what time is the best time to have say an hour?
Okay.
where we can just pull those that are interested in the catalog just to come together and sort of just talk through what it should be, how we move it forward.
Okay. Do you mind if I change the title on this from event to
Yeah.
meeting? Okay.
Yeah,
that might make it
yeah.
a little clearer.
I think event was a lot bigger than what I was thinking. It was just a way of trying to. And again, it's how do we actually get, because just reviewing it sort of bi-weekly, we're not really getting any sort of movement on this. I think it just going. I mean, internally, Red Hat, when they do something, they'll just get people together and put probably a meeting in the calendar and just discuss it and then move it forward. We just need to work out how to do that as a community rather than just letting things just hang forever. We just need to get a meeting in the diary and get the like-minded folks together.
So I think we can assume Christian is still really busy. And who else we've got this? Oh, Luigi, this is your other account is on this one.
Yeah, okay. If you don't
Do you
mind,
want me to
just
swap
changing-
that out and put your other one?
do that. Yeah.
Okay.
And then yeah, yeah, Christian is he last week or the week before was moving, he moved place, so he's been quite snowed under, also with his day-to-day job. So, but I'm sure he did mention in a meeting we had a while ago that he'd be quite interested in getting involved with this catalog thing. And I agree, Brian. I think we should just put something in the calendar, put it down and just go for it and say, okay, let's start with a simple 1 or 2 operators that we can put in an OKD community catalog and see where it goes. I don't know, as a suggestion.
So
Okay,
can
so
we
the
move-
week, well, let's actually think week beginning the 17th, because this week is coming up to Easter weekend. So I know in Europe, all the children are on holiday from school. So a lot of people out this week and next week. So the week beginning the 17th, I don't know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, is there a preferred day? Let's find when people are most.
Yeah, well, that's what I was just going to say is you might want to talk to Christian, because I mean, really, you're going to want Christian there for the technical, to at least provide some input from the technical perspective on this. So would it work for the 3 of you, Brian, Luigi, for the 2 of you, Brian and Luigi, to reach out to Christian, and then the 3 of you come up with something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Brian, you're right. I'm for that week, April the 7th. So you said from the 17th.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday looks good for me. So you tell. I think we just got to work out when Christian's available and just go for it.
Yeah. And where should we put it? Because again, anybody that's interested in this, so for those that are just listening or watching, this is to create an OKD catalog of operators, like we have on OpenShift and like we have the community operators. OKD is missing some of the key operators, things like pipelines, like the GitOps, Argo CD. So it's to create an OKD specific catalog that would replace the OpenShift Red Hat catalog, or provide some of those operators into OKD. So that's what we're talking about in terms of the operator catalog. So again, if anybody wants to, I guess the best thing is to do it is if you look on the project board, issue number 19, put your name on there, and we'll make sure that that you get notified. You're on mute,
Great
Luigi.
suggestion. Yeah, great suggestion. Yeah. So just put your name on issue number 19, and then we'll arrange a meeting with everyone.
All right, I'm going to move 19 over to ready, because it's ready for people to be working on. It's not in the backlog anymore. Okay. Investigate CRC on OKD option from the Red Hat team. They now, I haven't had a chance to talk to them about the CRC team about what they did now that they're doing OKD builds in a more streamlined fashion using some sort of tagging or something. Has anyone talked to them at all about this? Because they did some work a couple months ago, and I just haven't had a chance to reach out to them yet. Okay.
No, not that I'm aware of from the Red Hat side. We can follow up on that as well.
let me, currently it has, Diane, Brian, and Michael on it. I'm going to add myself to it, and I'll reach out to the CRC folks to find out a little bit more about what they did, because now there's theoretically, and I'll put this in ready because I can go and talk to them. Theoretically, they've streamlined the process of doing the OKD CRC. So there was a thread about the work that they were doing. Geez, I'm going to guess like December, maybe November, and I just never followed up with it. Blog post for a roadmap. So this is going to involve, it's a good first issue, and it's going to involve conversations with Luigi, Christian from the technical side, at the very least, and then also probably Brian, myself. And so this is Diane and you, Mr. Branch. Do you, should I add myself to this, and then we'll just schedule maybe a meeting and hammer out what the roadmap might look like?
Yes, that sounds good.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna add to this ticket all of the people. So Brian, myself, and then Luigi and Christian. All right. Cool. All right. All those folks are added on that. We'll set up a meeting and just come up with a basic roadmap of where things are going based on, you know, the new pipelines, and based on stuff happening on the documentation side, community development side, etc. Okay. I'm going to put that into ready because it is ready for us to start working on, and we can at least start having conversations on that. Okay, we've gone through the backlog. Now let's go through the new ones. Review and refresh the home landing. Should that still be under new, or should we move that into backlog? Brian, what's your ETA on review and refresh home landing page?
Do we need to merge it with any of the others?
We do. If you want to go ahead and
Yeah.
do that, you know, sometime between now and the next meeting, that would be good. We do probably want to merge it with those other ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll merge that one.
Okay. Update the installing OpenShift on a single node instructions in the end user docs. This was Mr. Burke from last month. Let's move it to backlog until we know like sort of where he's at, because he kind of disappeared. Oh, yeah.
This one needs to be written, and that one needs to be written. That is in actual fact, that is a duplicate of, where is the SNO assisted installer ticket? That's the duplicate of that one.
Yeah, we've got the assisted is in progress, and then
so that's number 2. That is a duplicate of number 2.
That is a duplicate of number 2.
I think that's a duplicate of number 2. Number 27 is a duplicate of number 2.
Okay.
Because at the minute there is nothing there. It needs to be written, because we removed the OCP version, which was go to the redhat.com hosted assisted installer.
Yeah.
That doesn't apply to OKD. So we need to write it about the self-hosted assisted installer. And there's been about 4 tickets gone in the last month on the issues on OKD about that. So people are obviously interested in it. So, but that is a duplicate of number 2.
All right, I'm going to put that in ready for now, and then we'll merge them to make sure that the different aspects of the two, like I don't want to lose Michael's comments. So I'll put that in ready, and then I'll put those together, merge those together. write up project board guidelines. No one ever actually took this one. I think we're kind of defining it as we go along.
Yeah.
So I'll put it in backlog, but I feel like eventually we will get to it because we're learning now how to work with this and we're starting to get the flow, and it does help visualize things. I'm glad we went back to this. Missing security contacts on okd.io. So we do have now, I think, security at okd.io. Do we just want to, excuse me, do we want to just put that in and have that go to the general alias, have that be a general alias still that goes to everybody? If so, then we just need to put it on the website somewhere.
Well, I think kind of like when we get into the meeting about where's the direction going, I think in the US, there's a lot getting ready to go on with zero trust. That's going to hit security pretty hard. And that could, you know, put us in multiple directions. So I think I think it kind of merges a little bit with that a little bit, you know, because that will affect the, you know, the direction, you know, with
So,
security.
yeah, right now of the 6 email aliases, we do have security, I think. It's security at okd.io. Currently that goes to like the same group of people that receive all of the other aliases. And we don't have like a defined security team. So my sense is that we should just keep that alias pointing to that generic Gmail account, and then try to build up a security presence by getting a volunteer. We had someone who was going to, and then they sort of dropped off the map a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking at the comments. It does say that we're waiting on the email issue to be solved.
Yeah.
And I think the other comment is this, that the most likely action of any email that comes in there is just pointing it back at the appropriate project, because we actually don't own the code for most of the stuff. I think it's really only the machine config operator that's different for OKD. More or less everything else is the upstream projects, be that Fedora, CoreOS, and CentOS Stream CoreOS, or OpenShift. So I think our security action is most likely to be just bounce it on to the upstream project. Yeah,
I think so. But I think I mentioned at the time too that it's good for us to actually be the people doing it as the working group, as opposed to just having a user go, just telling them, go submit this bug here. Carries a little more weight, I think.
So I think the action here is just add this to the okd.io site.
Yeah. So is that ready? Can someone take that?
And it's security at, what is the email address?
It's the security at okd.io.
IO.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what did we add one for security? I thought we did.
I'm not sure.
Let me check and be sure. I could have swore we did. My email search is not working the best right now, but all right, I'll find it, but I'm pretty sure security was one of the ones that we added. It's back in the meeting notes too. We'll be able to find it, but yeah, it's there were 6 aliases that we had, and then we can just add that one on the website somewhere. Yeah, so we have info, security, chairs, community dev, and communications. So it's actually 5 of them. So yeah, security at okd.io. All right. And we are at time, so I want to be respectful of people's time. We did get a lot of going through stuff today. Any last minute comments before we end the meeting? All right, and I'll reach out to our volunteer. Thank you for volunteering, our new volunteer. Got your name and let's see, anything else? I think that's about it. All right, folks, I'll make sure all the calendars are updated and whatnot. And I'm a little bit behind on the videos of the meetings, but those will go up as well. I've got a little more free time in the next couple of weeks coming up. So see you all next time.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.